Hey there, Kate Phillips here with Total Wealth. You may or may not know that Kim Butler and I just released a brand new book called Perpetual Wealth. The pre-sale is happening right now on Amazon. It is available in Kindle version, also hardcover, and there'll be an Audible coming out soon. And I wanted to do a little video and talk about 3 myths of generational wealth. That is the topic of the book. It's how to grow and keep generational wealth, family wealth. And to talk about that, I came out here to Suncadia Resort in Central Washington. It's near where I live. There's something about the trees. There is generational wealth here. There are trees that have been here and a river that have been here for generations. Some of these trees behind me are hundreds of feet tall, ponderosa pines, and hopefully you won't get too dizzy because my arm is my tripod today. So bear with me. But the first myth of generational wealth is that either your family is wealthy or your family isn't. Either you're one of the haves or one of the have-nots. And I want to dispel that. In the United States, about 80% of the wealthy, or the millionaires plus club, I'll call them, are first generation. So it simply takes one person to break the pattern. If your family has never had wealth, if you have beliefs around that, maybe you belong to, whether you're a certain color or a certain gender, you grew up in certain circumstances or have a certain level of education and you believe that is holding you back, I promise you there is somebody in that same circumstance with a similar background who has broken the pattern and built tremendous wealth. It really is a matter of decision, a desire, and taking the steps slowly but surely to build wealth for yourself, for your family. You may be a child, you may have children, you may be sandwiched in between a couple of generations, but it is never too late. There is a myth number 2 that thinks that wealth is really all about the money, and that generational wealth involves leaving as much money as possible to the next generation. This is also false, and there have been extremely wealthy families in the past. The Vanderbilts would be one example, who had tremendous wealth, left tons of money to the next generation, and within a couple of generations it was all gone. There is a saying of different sayings actually in different cultures of shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. Another saying is that, the first generation builds it, the second generation maintains it, maybe if you're lucky, the third generation spends it, loses it, wastes it, it's gone. So that's not quite the saying, but that gives you the idea. And this happens in every generation and every culture throughout time. Family wealth is hard to keep. So actually the nature of family wealth is not so much the money, but it is the knowledge. It's being able to educate yourself, to educate your family, and to pass on the knowledge of how wealth is built. The third myth is that you've got to have a lump sum. That, if you don't have a lump sum, you're not going to be able to get to that level, or what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to pass on anything that is meaningful, that will make a difference. Also completely false. And there are many ways, whether you're investing, whether you're saving, but one strategy that we talk a lot about in Perpetual Wealth is life insurance. And there is permanent life insurance, whole life insurance, that people can buy a little bit at a time. Sometimes they get it on their kids, sometimes the adults get it, sometimes both. We give some great multi-generational strategies, but we encourage people to start where they are. Maybe it's $100 a month that you can start saving. And if you are an adult child and you're like, I don't think my parents have any life insurance, did you know that you can take out a policy on your parents with and only with their permission? So if they don't have life insurance, you might want to look at getting life insurance for them, because not only might that it would guarantee you someday, as long as you outlived your parents, that would guarantee you an inheritance, but also life insurance, certain kinds of policies can be used for emergencies, for whether you need cash, whether the insured may receive a terminal illness or a chronic illness diagnosis, and then you would be able to use that money, the future, what would have been, or what would have been most of or part of that death benefit, can be used while the person is still alive to support them, to give them the care that they need. So this is a strategy a lot of people are not aware of. We talk about this and so much more in Perpetual Wealth, about raising children to be wealthy, about having a long-term viewpoint about wealth, how to communicate about money. It's a big, meaty book, almost like a reference book about generational wealth. There's also a lot of research I did that went into it, wisdom and lessons from the affluent, from people who have built wealth and kept it, from people who have built wealth and lost it. We've got it all in Perpetual Wealth. I will leave a link for that. The book will be officially launched, released. The Kindle will be available on June the 11th. The hardcovers will be shipped on the 11th. We are in, as I mentioned, a pre-sale right now, and I encourage you to get your copy of Generational Wealth from yours truly and Kim Butler. Have an awesome rest of your day. Bye-bye.